Así mismo, señores, bienvenidos al programa. Hoy es sábado a las 11 de la mañana y estamos aquí en el vecindario from the neighborhood. Welcome to the show, folks. This is where we get down and we get to meet our neighbors. Qué chulo sería de que uno conociera todos los vecinos que están por todo alrededor del mundo y pudiera tocarlos, conectarse con ellos. I mean, imagine that. Imagine you have like everybody on Facebook being your friend. And I'm saying cool people, like people that are about progress, people that are about giving that love and that attention. That is what we're here for, folks. We are breaking apart the stereotype, breaking apart the preconceived notions of what it's like to be from certain neighborhoods and uncovering the superstars who may be superstars on the big stage or in their companies, in their businesses, in their communities. We don't know. But that's what we're going to find out when we start meeting these people who are from the neighborhood. And with that, folks, I want to invite you guys to be part of this program. Connect with me on all the social media platforms from the neighborhood. Reach out to me, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're on, reach out to me there because I want to hear your story or maybe the story of a friend. You can nominate somebody if you have somebody who has got, I don't know, an interesting story and they live in your neighborhood or in another neighborhood, you know, whatever it is. Connect them. Connect them and say, hey, listen, I got a friend. He wants to be on this program and I want to tell their story. If it's cool, hey, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to look at your neighborhood and say, wow, I never thought of it this way. So I want you guys to connect with me on that way. And also, if you guys love your neighborhood and you want to represent it, check out the new store, shop.fromtheneighborhood.com. I've got a bunch of cool merch and I got the retro editions coming back, which say, I am Queens, I am Brooklyn, representing who you are. And you're going to love the Elements collection. Looks just like the periodic table, taking you back to school. Yep, that's right. Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, even Long Island's in the house, and we're connecting with them in that sort of way. So, guys, there's a lot happening on this program. And if you're a business, well, guess what? You want to connect with your community. And here, the whole team at Latino Mix, myself included, reach out to me, and we can go ahead and put this all together for you guys so that you connect with your community. So if you want to advertise, you want to engage with your community, Latino Mix, myself, the whole team here, we can make it happen. Reach out to me, and we'll do that right away. And guys, there's a lot happening on this program. And, you know, I've got this love for New York. You know, I've got a love for the Empire State. You know, I feel like the Empire State has so much talent. We've got millions of people living here. So I'm thinking, if you love the Empire State, you've got to have an Empire State of mind. And with that, folks, I'm bringing two folks here, Liza and Willie. If you ever heard of them, they're in the Bachata world and they're coming up. And they're a beautiful, wonderful couple. They're here on the program today, and they're bringing to you an Empire State of Mind to let you know that you can do it too. And with that, I'm going to go to a quick break with Jay-Z, Alicia Keys, Empire State of Mind. Let's go.
De regreso con Antony from the neighborhood.
That's right. Let's hear it for New York. And New York is in the house, folks. We are going to Queens, New York. Ya ustedes saben, si conocen a Queens, conocen algunos vecindarios y uno de los más populares, Corona, Jackson Heights, esa parte del norte de Queens. Ahí es que vamos hoy y yo tengo dos personas aquí muy especiales. So two great people who've been featured all over the music scene and they're being featured in more and more places are with me here today in the studio representing Bachata, the music of the Dominican Republic. We've got here in the house, I've got Liza to my right, I've got Willie to my left. Liza and Willie are in the house.
Saludos. Hey, what's up?
Bienvenidos,
What's going on, guys?
bienvenidos. Wow. So I'm here squashed in the middle, you know, like really enjoying this company, but I had to keep you two separated.
Okay.
And you guys are a married couple. I know that's always the big thing. So I'm going to address the elephant in the room about you being a married couple, super successful, super popular, and making it happen.
It's
That's
something,
amazing.
you know, desde un principio, we always wanted to say that we were married. We never wanted to hide anything, or we just wanted to be ourselves and transparent since day one. We want, you know, to share our story, to show people that there really is true love and that people do exist more than 10 now.
I love it.
20 years that we're going to have soon. So
20 years.
Yeah.
Can I get a round of applause for that? Yeah. This is 20 years since you guys met because you both got young faces.
Oh, thank you.
Not 20 years married, but plenty of time in that space as well.
Yeah.
Congrats on the two kids.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We know each other more than 20 years, actually. But
We met 24 years ago.
yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I heard a lot from your representative over here, Willie. But I want to hear a couple of things from you. Like, seriously, we're talking about you meet her, boy meets girl, right?
Yeah.
You know, the responsibility of being a dad. I had a Father's Day episode, and you know, it's a critical role, right? And
a lot of people oversee it though.
he's like, "Listen, get me something on the way home." That's you're like, that's all I'm good for.
Yeah, but I gotta say something. Liza really took care of me.
Really?
Yeah, she like treated me like a king. I mean, she always does. But she got me the sneakers I'm wearing right now. She took me out for breakfast, dinner, and
this is while dating or after marriage?
No, this is actually for Father's Day. He's talking about.
Okay, all right. Beautiful.
Father's Day.
Well, listen, it's your one day of the year, right?
Absolutely.
We've got to get it. I want to address it because June is actually Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and we forget about men's mental health, and we have the highest rates of incarceration, the highest dropout rates in school. And it hits us hard, but we don't necessarily talk about it. We talk about falling in love, which you guys have done beautifully. But there's a lot out there, especially in this space, right? When you're in the media and music or acting, whatever it is, right? It pulls couples apart.
Yeah.
And so, I go to you, Willie, because people always go and attack the guy. Well, the relationship went bad. It's the guy, but you have uncovered keys to having a sustainable relationship. I'd love you to share that with them.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I love my father, but he wasn't necessarily like a role model, and I always said, I don't want to be like him, even though I love him and I care for him, dearly, but I wanted to be a great example for my family, and especially my kids. And, I take pride in taking care of them every day, and when Liza's working, I make sure I do everything as a mother would do. And
that's beautiful.
I spend time with my kids, and I make sure that I work every day and provide for the family.
And that's something really special because, especially in today's dynamic where we've changed as men, we've evolved. And I say because of society in general, right? Economically, right? Bringing something to the table it takes two, right? To make that thing go right. And I borrowed the line from, obviously another song, but it is that where you have to work together and in your space where life can mean so much and, feelings can get twisted. You really held it down. So big applause to you, man. I really appreciate the fact that, you've been there present as a dad.
I appreciate that so much.
Yeah. No, I want to recognize that, especially a month like this one here where we forget how important mental health is, especially for men. But you guys got together since high school, right? So let's go back to the love story. You both went to Newtown High School. So big shout out to Newtown High School there.
Yes.
Baseball, man.
Yeah.
Baseball before bachata.
Yeah, so I grew up wanting to be a baseball player. My idol was Bernie Williams, and I wanted to be a guy like him, respectful. He was a musician, even though I didn't play music at the time when I was younger, but I always liked his style, he's a class act. So
you want to play the guitar too now?
Yeah, I never played the guitar up until I went to high school.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a baseball player the whole time, but then when I got to high school, I felt infatuated with music, with bachata. I loved music growing up. I used to dance in all the parties and all that, but for some reason I just got hooked on bachata. Raulin Rodgriuez inspired me.
Did you do performances for the family? Like, me and my little brother used to do this, right? Like there'd be a song and then we'd do a dance off. Like for the family at the family parties, and we would choreograph an entire song. Was that something you would do?
Well, something similar. I used to actually dance with all the girls. Like I would dance with young girls, viejas, and every type, all ages.
Yeah,
and I used to
Willie
do like
was
a
entertainment.
show.
Yeah.
I got the best seat of them all, which was that I got to find a video of Willie actually redoing a Mace video. So with his cousins, he was rapping Mace.
Did you have like the shiny jacket? Was it that one?
He don't remember that. He's like, wait, babe.
More money, more problems.
We actually, so I did a whole set in my fire escape. I le puse como frisa and I covered it. And I was doing my own music video because I was really into Bad Boy and Mace at that time.
Yeah.
In junior high school.
Yeah.
So we kind of remade that Feel So Good video, and that's what she's talking about.
Nice.
So I found a lot of videos. Willie,
I love that.
He was always an entertainer, always with, and having 5 sisters, and being the only boy. And then out of all his cousins, nieces, and nephews, he always had so many girls around. So he was always like, when he got with the boys, he got with the boys. So
You didn't have a choice. You did not have a choice, man.
I think if there was YouTube back in the day, I may have been very popular because I used to do my own like vlogs with my camera. Yeah. I used to act, do scenes. I used to coordinate everything.
Yeah,
I'm going to shut up because that's like my twin right here. This is exactly what I would live through. Wow, this is so cool.
And I got to see all of it. It's funny because we found one of his old VHS and I got to see all of this. It was just, Willie just, being Willie.
Nice.
Till this day, still.
Damn, Willie, that's awesome.
It's crazy because our son is doing the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. It's in the family now, but who did it before you? You're like, there wasn't even a VHS back then, right?
Yeah.
But there had to be a character in the family, right? Who's that?
His father. His father.
My father was always a party man, and maybe I got the love for music because of him. I guess, man. Well,
then that came in during high school, right? And in high school, you both met.
Yes.
I want to take it back though, because you guys met over an iconic instrument. Here we're talking about guitars, right? Mm-hmm. You met over an instrument, guitar, but it was a guitar class. And I'm not going to go into the details, but this led to the formation of a group and so on and so forth. But you fell in love with the guitar and you were already singing. So we got a lot to go with you, but you fell in love with the guitar. And there was a certain song that connected not only with you guys, but connected with you because it was the first one you played. And I think it does connect with your story because it's Liza and Willie. Mm-hmm. And it's not just Willie. So it can't be a group without you. So sin ti, esto no funciona. And with that, I'm going to go with the first song you ever played, Raulin, Sin Ti. Let's go.
De regreso con Antony from the neighborhood.
Así mismo, Sin Ti, that's without you. You can't live without you, right?
Yep.
And that song had you going, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, I went to my teacher and I said, hey, can you show me how to play this song? And he's a classical player.
Yeah.
So he was like, dándole cocoto, like, okay, give me a few days.
He's like, I never picked that strings like that, right?
He's like, oh, and then he started learning more about bachata and stuff. And he's like, it's very interesting how they play the guitar. Like, it's different,
Yeah.
And that's what intrigued him to learn more about bachata and liking it. And then it was in his class that we met.
And this is the influence here. This is the connector, right?
And then
music all the time. And you guys have mentioned this before in previous interviews, but I just really wanted to highlight it because, I find that there's a lot of conversation in music, a lot of messaging in music that inspires people to do many things. And your music teacher, right, teaches you how to play this and helps you out. But then Liza comes along, right, comes into your life, and he actually tells you to play a song to her as a way to kind of meet her? How does that come along?
So true story is that he'll tell you that, but that's not exactly how we
That's how
got
he
together.
Remembers it for some reason.
Yeah.
But
let's give him a big shout out. What's his name?
Mr. Vasquez.
Mr. Vasquez.
And believe it or not, we still hang out with him too.
Oh, Mr. Vasquez in the house. I always say the important role of teachers and how they impact students. And whatever influence it was or however the story was, the guitar here and the music is what brought you guys together.
Yeah.
Amen. I always say music is what made us. So that's like our little thing that we always say. Pero in high school, Mr. Vasquez, if it wasn't for that guitar class, because we had music class, which is a required class. So he was like, oh, for extra credit, you guys want to do a guitar class? We were like, heck yeah, let's sign up, whatever. But it was all throughout senior year.
Now we're talking about, let's go all the way back. And again, I'm not saying your age, but 20 years working on your passion. Is this counting from the days of high school?
I started since I was 8.
So we're going back to pacifiers?
Oh, damn. Yep.
You wanted to do it, not me.
No. Well, I started really, really young. Ifue, you're in the neighborhood. I live in the hood. I'm going to say it. And then there was a guy. He was like, hey, I'm starting a karaoke. Karaoke. I remember he was like kind of drunk and stuff. And my mom is like, ¿A cuánto lo venden? And then $20 and $20 my mom gave, and that was my karaoke radio. I had no mic, but then, you know, that's how it all started, just playing cassettes. And the cassette that was inside was Whitney Houston.
Wow.
So
talk about a beginner's cassette.
Yeah.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
There. You were pulling that off?
And then I was just pressing play and learning it because that was the only thing I had. So I started learning the songs. I started singing, Vieja, ven a ver que la niña canta, and all this stuff. And they bought me a mic. And after they bought me a mic, I just kept singing on top of Whitney Houston.
Let's get the setting here. Corona, Queens.
Yes.
This is happening in Corona, Queens. You live on 100 and what street? 103rd Street, lo más caliente de Corona, Queens.
Todavía.
Wow. So you were on 103rd Street. My man, you're a little more humble, a little more chill.
Yeah.
You got the flair, though. You were what neighborhood?
94th Street, 35th Avenue, Jackson Heights.
Jackson Heights. All right. So, él estaba ya cuando la temperatura se bajó un poquito, pero tú estás en una fiebre de 103.
Yeah, ya lo saben.
103rd Street. And if you're talking about people getting excited there, they're screaming to the whole neighborhood, up and down the block. You get popular quick.
Yeah.
And since you took it back to being in pacifiers or being such a young age, I want to ask you a question. The 20 years of working on this, were you the first one to start? And did you tell Willie, this is how it comes together? Or was it Willie who said, this is how we're coming together?
Well, Willie was the one that did his group. It was Juventud back in 2001. He needed a female artist, so I was like, heck no, bachata, like really? My thing was R&B.
Yeah, you were into some other people, right? Weren't you into, like, you said Whitney Houston, so who was some, give me the list.
Celine Dion, Selena, Mariah Carey, Lauryn Hill, you name it. Those were my girls.
Wow.
Yeah,
so you were not into the Spanish music at all?
No.
O sea, señores, ni le gustaba la bachata.
I used to like my old school merengues, for sure. Los Hermanos Rosario, Fernandito Villalona, like those, that was it. Antonio Rosario, yeah. And Sergio Vargas, Ruby Perez. Like, those are my people.
Yeah.
That's what I used to love. And then when he told me about bachata, I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, no, you need to ask my mom permission because really I did not.
So what did they play in your house? What was the music played in your house? When you played, for example, your mom turned on the radio, it was merengue, it was bachata, it was Spanish music.
Ana Gabriel. Miriam Hernandez. Marisela. It was more of that.
I remember Ana Gabriel. That used to be like on loop.
She was like...
my mom's car that had it on loop.
Oh my God. Ana Gabriel was the one that hit the core for me.
Yeah.
When it was to like really belt.
Yeah.
That's who really touched me to a different level of singing.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the backseat of the car and I used to dread having to hear it, but I remember feeling it as a child and wondering, what is this? I feel this woman so sad. It was so much emotion in there. And you mentioned Selena.
Absolutely, yeah.
Big shout out, beady beady bang bang. Can't get over that.
That's my Como la Flor girl right there.
Yes, el apartamento, right?
El apartamento 5 y 12.
There you go.
Yeah.
Then you go over on the English side, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Those, like when I say, you know, when there's passion, when I say when you feel that knot in your throat when somebody else is singing and it's not even you, that's because there's such a feeling there and so much respect to all of these divas. Like, come on.
I gotta say, listen, now that you're singing, it feels like a fantasy. And not for nothing, you took it way back to being a child. I've got a little footage of that and I'm gonna show it in a little bit. But I need to go to a break with this song right here and you're gonna love it. Because it's fantasy. Mariah Carey and Oh Dirty Bastard. Let's go.
De regreso con Antony from the neighborhood.
So we're back here, and obviously we wrapped it up with fantasy. Mariah Carey, one of your favorite artists.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're taking it back, man. I feel like I'm in high school.
Hey, listen, I just had to go back to 1995 or something like that, right?
Damn, 2000s. Right.
Mira, this is a rich time. High school is something you never forget. And this is where you met.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the amount of years you've been doing this, it comes out from a hobby or like, hey, let's get together as friends, right? You made the grupo, Juventud, to like now it's your profession. And eventually, like, this will be the takeover. I'm wishing you guys a lot in that space.
Thank you.
For you guys to do your thing, especially with the little ones looking at home.
I know. They are our number one fans. Our son, he's so proud of us. He's constantly saying it. That's why when we did our album, Once Upon a Time, I'm like, Papi, come and say what you always say to us. And, you know, our daughter's constantly interrupting us. So it was like, let's do a replay of what our life is really all about. You hear us, you know, scratching, you know, writing our songs because we wrote 90% of the album.
Wow.
And then it's just like, you know, how we plan and write music. And then that's when Willie and me, we were like, oh, let me do this and that. And then my son explaining how proud he is of us.
They're seeing this happen.
My daughter, she says, Liza, Willie. Like, that's how she identifies us as the artist. But we are mommy and daddy. But when she says Liza and Willie, she's saying
that's
the
very
singers.
funny. I've had the same relationship with my mom and my dad. You know, I worked at my dad's bodega, and it'd be like, I call him by his name at the store, or my mom, let's say, for example, at our business. But then it's mom and dad at home.
Yeah.
It's like the kids are so smart. And I got to actually touch on something, because you as a child, very bright, right? Getting onto the karaoke. And we know the story because of hearsay, but we're going to go on to that. But one of the biggest highlights is appearing on what I consider one of the most iconic programs of all Latino television, 50 plus years on the air.
Yes.
And it was like, if you made it there, you made it to the top of everything. And it's literally, it's an icon of mine in terms of addressing myself to the Latino audience and people. Señores, ustedes no se pueden olvidar de quien yo voy a mencionar en este momento. El señor Don Francisco y su programa Sábado Gigante. Liza was on the show.
Yes.
And since we went back and we talk about fantasy, Mariah, Baby's Pacifier, and all that stuff back in the 90s, you were on this program here. And I'm going to play this here real quick. And we could talk right over the video. But what was going through your mind when he's announcing you guys?
Los nervios. I was so nervous.
You met Don Francisco.
Yes, I did.
Let's see this. So you're there as one of the little kids, but you're going to perform.
Yes.
Mira, Liza.
My mom made that dress.
You have backup dancers.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. They just had it ready there. I was like, let me just do me and I'll let them do them.
Y una canción de Selena.
Yep. Y esto fue en Univision, Sábado al Mediodía. So it's like a whole recollection.
Sábado al Mediodía con Selena Toribio.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And also it was that song. My mom made that too. Wow. She used to make my wardrobe.
Wow. Tremendo sastre. I love the graininess of the video and how it's jumping up because it was on your VCR.
Yes.
Qué bonito.
Oh. Gracias. Not polite.
Oh my gosh. Now, let me take this. I'm going to actually pause it because I want to get the reaction of the gentleman sitting to my left over here. Excuse me, Willie. Your reaction to this. Tuve la esposa tuya así chiquitica cantando. What do you think?
She's a superstar.
Yeah? If you were, how old were you there, Liza?
10.
You're 10 years old. You're watching Sábado Gigante at home.
And it's possible I may have seen this. Well, I mean, not really, because I you know, when you're young, you don't think about it.
I'm playing with G.I. Joe. I don't know.
Yeah, like you don't really think about it. But funny you say that, because the first time I laid eyes on Liza, right? It was like God, like showing our fate, really, because I was in the classroom.
Me estoy derritiendo.
And across the hall, she was in the other classroom, and both of our doors were open.
Yeah.
And the teachers were about to close the door, and I see this blonde girl across the hall, and she's staring at me, and I'm looking at her, but then I'm like, oh, she resembles that girl from La Lambada. La da 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 da.
Yes.
She looks like, when she was younger, she looked like
all the ice cream trucks used to play that.
Yeah, because she used to be like real skinny and blonde hair. So she that's what caught my attention. And it was like, it wasn't like I was staring at her because she looked like, oh, she looked good. She just caught my attention, like for some reason.
Y todavía.
And
hasta hoy, cierra la puerta y tú te quedas ahí mirando.
No, Joe, that was me. I saw him like that.
Oh my God.
He didn't see me like that.
I love this.
Yeah.
So then, like,
esto es chipa y chipa por los dos lados.
And then, you know, that that was freshman year.
Yeah.
Towards the third semester of that year, that's when we were in music class together. And it was just a hi and bye. It wasn't like, it was just hi, And then we got to guitar class in sophomore year. Was it?
No, it was second semester's freshman year.
Now, hold on a second. Did you ever imagine that you two would come together and formulate your group?
No.
All right. So this is kind of like, they have a word for this, by the way. So basically the word is called irony. Okay. So when things turn out differently than what you expected them to turn out, it's irony. The exact definition is happening in the opposite way to what is expected, typically causing some sort of amusement because of it. You were dancing with your family. You're there like, rompe cintura y haciendo todo lo tuyo. Y Andy te dice, ven acá a la tarima porque me gusta el entretenimiento.
Yeah.
Did you think that was like, I'm going to become a singer?
No.
No.
Not at all.
So, but you guys had a history with one of the most popular bachateros out there. Explain this to me. You came together. You're in music class. You're messing around with the guitar. You're over here being party animal with your family, and you're still together. Were you boyfriend and girlfriend? Were you guys having this goal in mind?
No, I never thought. Nunca pensé que iba a ser el novio de Liza. I never had that in my mind. I didn't even look at her like that.
Ni en cuántos niveles de la vida lo han compartido.
She became my...
It was me. It was me all along. I always liked him. But I was too afraid. I was afraid that, oh my God, my boy, if I tell him that I like him, will he treat me the same? Will he want to hang out with me the same? I'm never going to say anything because then we won't hang out the same if he don't like me. I would be too hurt. I don't want that.
You were more afraid of his rejection than the rejection from the entire world with your voice.
Yeah. I really liked him a lot.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Señores, no se dejen detener. Ella no quiso llegar al amor de su vida, pero sí llega a Sabado Gigante y a Don Francisco. ¿Pero qué es esto, señores? What is going on? You took the biggest stage of your world, but you couldn't take on Willie?
No. I prefer his friendship and having him near me. And I would see him get married and stuff, calladita, but as long as we were friends.
And now you guys are sharing the biggest stage. So this is why I say, how ironic is that?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It turns out to be a very strange thing. And then you perform and you're here, again, sharing the stage with one of the biggest bachateros out there. And the whole thing is ironic. Like none of this is planned. It just keeps turning out in this sort of way.
It's so crazy. Well,
yeah, it's like when Andy...
The light bulb went off.
I know, I'm like, Jesus.
Cuando Andy me dio la oportunidad de bailar en la tarima, yo solo me aproveché. I never thought, I'm going to become his musician or whatever. I just took the advantage of that moment.
Yeah.
But then it became a thing, and he knew I played guitar. So when he was missing a guitarist one day, he just said, hey, grab your guitar. And then I played that gig with him. And then yo me quedé con él. And it was just...
La cosa de la vida, señores. Uno nunca sabe dónde va a aterrizar. You never know where you're going to land. You just got to make sure you get off the ground and take the flight. I got to go to a quick break. But as ironic as this sounds, hay una canción de Andy que se llama Qué Ironía. So I'm going to go to a quick break with that one. Let's go.
De regreso con Antony from the Neighborhood.
Así mismo, Qué Ironía. How ironic, or what irony. And ahí dice que tú le entregas ¿cómo es? La vida entera con solo una mirada.
Yeah.
Y ahí está la mirada de ustedes. Mirando a cruzar de un salón al otro. Right? Your teacher's about to close the room. You're sending a message with just your look.
It's just crazy. I think that was God showing us, hey, you guys are going to end up together. You're going to have kids and all that.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know it at the time.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations once again on the kids, the family, and all of these things. There's a lot that I definitely want to go ahead and cover with you guys. You have, you mentioned a new album, Once Upon a Time. We mentioned that off the air. But your kids, seeing you working on it, your kids have been there for their entire life witnessing it. But you guys also have your own 9 to 5. Like, señores, este sueño se cumple con sacrificio. So we're talking about, and I want to get into it a little bit, because people see celebrities and they're like, they just got there, right? They got the golden ticket. It's not Willy Wonka, folks. It's not Willy Wonka. It's pain, struggle, and it's determination. You guys have been determined. You're holding on to your 9 to 5. Willie, you're working as an operations manager?
Yeah.
So operations manager, my man over here, goes to work 9 to 5. And then Liza,
Actually,
What is
4 a.m.
Oh, 4. I didn't get the hours right. Somebody call HR.
There you go.
Now, Liza, you're yourself also working in the beauty industry.
Yeah.
You're helping out mom.
Yeah.
Tu mami tiene un salón?
Yeah. Mi mamá tiene un salón in Corona, Queens.
Tell me it's on 103rd.
Yes, it is. No, yeah, 104. Un bloque.
Lo subió uno. So your mom's working at the hair salon. You're helping out your mom. You're also a makeup artist. You're also singing. I mean...
And I have a job also besides that, too. Another job, yeah.
Wow, there you go. So the Latinos working hard.
There you go.
Cuéntame, ¿cómo ustedes lo están pudiendo manejar? Porque también los huesos de uno no están iguales. El cuerpo no es la misma energía. So, what's going on, guys? Háblame de esa dieta.
You know, nosotros... Hay mucha discusión entre nosotros, to be honest.
But not...
But...
Let me correct you on that one, but there's nothing like crazy
I just want to say that nothing's perfect. Nada es perfecto, pero sí tenemos comunicación y paciencia, right? Y entendemos cuál es our vision and our goals.
Yeah, the thing is that I'm a workaholic. I've been working since I was 12. And he's like, why you need to have these other jobs? And I'm like, babe, I just have to. It's just... I like shopping, I like this, I like that, and we have the kids as well.
Right.
So I like to take a baggage off of him as well with whatever it is that I need to help. And with this music, everything requires money. Everything. Yeah. It goes down to clothes, down to videos, down to this, and now it's like constant content. So it's like... everything is from us. It's not like we have mommy and daddy helping us or an uncle that is like super rich or a cousin or anybody.
Or even un empresario.
We don't have nobody.
We're alone.
We're doing this all on our own. Nobody, the only team we have is really 2 friends of ours, and it's like they help us as much as they can, not economically, so we have to do everything. So it gets hard when you have a family, you have all these jobs, and then trying to make your dream happen.
Yeah, that is very difficult. And I think people need to learn this because recently there was a big thing online about how an American Idol winner, I believe her name was Samantha Diaz, if I'm not mistaken. She's back to singing in the subway, where she basically was discovered or started, right? And people don't realize that it's a very expensive business and it requires a lot of sacrifice. And this is where I want to highlight who you guys are as a couple, as individuals, and your determination, and that there's real life discussions happening here, but there's also real life results that are obtained from it when you stick together. Mm-hmm. And for that, let me get a round of applause, please, in the studio.
Amen.
Big round of applause for you guys doing that, because the love story is one thing, but the struggle and continuing through that is huge. You guys are still putting it out, and Once Upon a Time you got together, but Once Upon a Time is out right now. Right?
Yep.
So Willie, you brought your guitar to the studio. If you can jump right over there, get me a guitar, please. Pull it into here, because I'd love to hear a little bit of this. Right? I'd love to see what's going on.
Go ahead, baby.
And Liza, you're gonna go back to high school days seeing this guy with the guitar?
Yeah, man. him sexy old self.
He brought you in as the lead singer. Primera canción que ustedes hicieron juntos, ¿cuál fue?
Oh my God, Linda Flor. Oh my God, but that song is so old. Wow.
No la tiene que hacer.
No, we would love to do the song. It's called Nuestro Amor.
Nuestro Amor.
That's how we
pega
met.
Muy bien con el tema de hoy. This is a great topic for today, because it's really been about your love for the music, love for each other, love for what's possible in the future. And I really want the audience to engage with you guys at that level. So, Willie, why don't you give us a little bit of that? Nuestro Amor. Show me.
Sorry, let me get out the way. So, esta canción se llama Nuestro Amor and is part of our album, Once Upon a Time. It's actually the first song because we wrote this song because it reminded us of how we met and how we fell in love. So the song is about us.
Dale pa allá. I love it.
And I'm going to sing the second part of the song, which is my favorite, because lyrically, we explain how
it's detailed,
yeah.
Bueno, se va a poner caliente aquí. Let's go.
¿Cómo olvidar esos días cuando yo te conocí? Y esas clases de guitarra que tomaba junto a ti. Yo recuerdo tu sonrisa, la llevo grabada en mí. Tu pelo que con la brisa jugueteaba y yo feliz.
Yo enamorada sola y tú que ni sabías que este gran sentimiento en mi interior crecía. Sí que ha pasado el tiempo y mira quién lo diría. Dejamos de ser dos amores en ese día. Porque este amor que nació entre tú y yo, como mancha indeleble, no se borra, no. Es tan grande este amor. Es que este amor tiene la bendición de burlarse del tiempo y cualquier situación. Es tan fuerte este amor.
Vaya,
Sorry, that
wow.
song. Esa canción, it chokes. It chokes.
No, está bien.
That's why
Está bien.
I stopped a little bit.
La música no es música sin sentimiento.
Ya tú sabes.
No, y ya yo sé que te ha tocado la conversación un par de veces y me alegro que la canción tiene eso de entre sí mismo because it's authentic. All right? It ain't real if you don't feel it. And you said it in the beginning, Ana Gabriel's music.
Ooh.
You said it again when you were like, oh my God, I didn't realize, right? You did that thing in that face.
Yeah.
And now you're feeling it in your own music, and that's the kind of music you got to put out.
For some reason, we can never sing the song like
Entera.
good because we get emotional.
That's right. That's why we got editors and they get paid the big bucks. Let's go. Now, listen, guys, when we talk about your music, we talk about your struggles and so forth, people still say, okay, I still don't know who they are. Well, for that, folks, I got a little segment here, a little piece that I'm going to pull out a little box. It has a question on it. Ooh. And I don't know what the question is, but it's usually pretty good. Let's get it.
Ooh, I like these.
Let me get that cue. All right, here we go. This little box here has pretty cool questions, and I'm going to let you guys answer it and see what it is. So your question is going to be, what was the most exciting airplane flight you ever took?
I don't think none of them.
Could
They
it
were
be
all
bad or
scary.
good?
Exciting. Whatever makes it fun.
I could tell you one experience we had where we almost died.
That's why I'm like, which one? Because,
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
That one was intense.
It was an Andy tour, 2005, I think.
Yeah.
Was this the kind of flight you need to drink Red Bull?
No, this is the kind of
Because
flight
you want to
that
learn how to fly?
we were. If I would have died, I always tell him I would have died in peace.
Are you serious? Where were you flying to?
To DR?
No, we were coming back from DR.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember I was praying and I just prayed for my parents and I was holding him tight and I knew I was such at peace that if I would have been gone, I would have been gone in peace. I don't know why. I was just praying and I just kept my cool while all the food and everything's flying, things are flying out. It was just bad. Fue un bajón to a point where we kind of lost a little air. No.
Wow.
That's true. It never came down.
That's weird, right?
Yeah.
What does it take for those masks to work?
I don't know.
Because I've heard some crazy stories with folks. Willie, I'm assuming you were on the same flight.
Yeah.
But was there anything exciting? Was you getting the good food at that time, or was it just peanuts?
I have an exciting one. I remember now. I remember I was with Daisy on the Andy and they had somebody didn't go on first class and he was like, so you're going to leave me alone back in the coach? And I was like, hell yeah, man. I'm sitting right here in the front. I remember that to Willie.
Oh, yeah. She left me.
Oh, man.
But he was like 3 seats down. Like I could see him. I was like, yo, babe, I'm right here.
You
though.
see me like in the middle of the aisle like that.
Was it back to your high school days when you're looking through the door when the teacher's about to...
I'm like, babe, let me let me experience this a little bit. Like, we right here, though.
Yeah.
She's over in
You had to get the champagne.
Damn, I wasn't old enough yet.
She was in first class, like.
Yeah,
and I'm like looking from behind.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Listen, guys, we got about a minute left to the program here. Do you guys want to shout out folks in your neighborhood? We already talked about your mom's salon.
Yeah.
By the way, where you started singing Brisas del Cibao, right?
La brisa, yes.
There you go. Señores, comen allá. Ya ustedes saben.
Ese chicharrón de pollo con arrobichuela, aprovechense que
You
eso es
might catch
buenísimo.
Liza on the karaoke for a throwback.
There you go, guys.
Otro lugares in Jackson Heights, Corona, who you want to shout out?
Well, I want to shout out Skin by G, which is my niece. She has her own.
Yes.
Like she does facial.
Yeah.
In 104th and Roosevelt.
Absolutely. And we have, and then also House of La Linda as well. She does My Amazing Nails for 9 years. She does a lot of celebrities as well, like Lil Kim and Mary J. Blige and all that stuff. So in that same salon, it's, you know, me as a makeup artist, Giselle Skin by G, and House of La Linda with Lisa, and Doro, her daughter. So we all there. So there you go.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, guys. So any cool spots to go eat? Anything else that people should check out in Corona?
Yes, Jardín de China. Junction.
I mean, when it comes to food, we love eating in. You know, of course, you have your like Rubio's Cafe in Northern Boulevard, Dominican, La Brisa también, Pollo Mario, Colombian spot, 81st Street, Roosevelt, La Cabaña, si quieres fritura.
Wow.
God, and then like when we go like date night, mommy and daddy time, we always go to Astoria.
Oh, that wasn't date night? I thought that was date night.
Oh no, date night is usually Astoria or LIC. We usually those are our two spots to do mommy and daddy.
Wow. Bueno, ustedes comen mucho, and this is beautiful. And all those places are from the neighborhood. And we learned a lot on this program today about you guys and la influencia que ustedes han tenido sobre su familia, ustedes mismos, y la manera que se están apoyando. There was a lot we covered, folks. Unfortunately, we are out of time, and I got to let you go. But I won't let you go without having you recap some of the most important parts of this episode, which is determination, understanding the struggle, the passion, and knowing that somehow, some way, life has its way to talk to you and connect you with the people you need to be with. So don't get impatient. Stay right there, because I'll be seeing you back in the neighborhood. And since I got to let you go, and I got Liza and Willie, well, I can't let you go without their jam right there. You knew it was coming, right? That's right. That's from their album, Once Upon a Time. Let's go with that. We're ending the show with Let You Go.